What is up, Matthew? It is Wednesday, October 10th. Happy, 10th day of October. Yesterday was my cousin's 14th birthday, so that's exciting. Today I wanted to talk about something called the sophomore slump and also about negative reinforcement. So I discovered last night that there's this thing called the sophomore slump, which is like the mid-college life crisis that apparently a lot of people have. And I had actually never heard of it until yesterday when I discovered that I am in the midst of the sophomore slump. Right now, it seems like a lot of my friends and classmates are like freaking out about getting accepted into their majors and passing all of their classes, and just like everything is just like weighing down on everyone right now. And there's a lot of crying going on. So I have one friend who's already definitely switching majors, which is, I don't know, whatever he wants to do. But another friend who's like worried that he has too many credits and like too many activities at the same time. He's already thinking about dropping a course, which like the deadline for that is until like the end of November, so he's fine. Yeah, last night was not a good night. I cried from the other thing that I'm going to talk about, which is negative reinforcement, which I do not handle well. I will tell you a short story in which everyone will remain anonymous except for me, because it's really only me and like 4 other people. Victoria's laughing at my video. So I was at the club sport I do last night. Even that's going to remain anonymous. I was at my club sport last night, and we did a really hard workout, and we did this one drill where we had to, I'm going to say run. It wasn't actually running, but if I say what it is, it'll give away the sport for those of you who don't know. So we ran like back and forth. It was like suicides or whatever. And the one coach was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do these, and like the last 5 people from the first round and the last 5 people from the second round, like those 10 are gonna go again, and then the last 4 from those 10 are gonna go again. And I ended up being in the last 4 because the first time I ran, and you're not actually supposed to run, we were supposed to like do the other thing. The second time I almost fell. So I like had to stop, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stand here, I'll be in the last 4, whatever. And then I actually was like the first one of the last 4 done, so like I won of the losers. But I had already decided like 10 minutes before that I was going to just like come back to my dorm at 9:30 because like I was exhausted and I had homework to do, and I just like I wasn't in the mood to do my club sport that night because like you have to be like in a certain mindset. And so I was standing by the door and I was talking to the one girl because like she's like our new like important person that has to come and make sure everything's okay and like everything's safe. They're called like a club sports representative. She works for club sports, and it turns out that I have a class with her. So I went up to her and I was like, oh my gosh, what's your name? Like I'm pretty sure we have a class together. It turns out we have Spanish together, so that was cool. So I was talking to her for a little bit, and then the one coach came over and was like, are you okay? Like your face is really red. I was like, yeah, I'm just like exhausted. I'm gonna go back to my dorm and like do homework and like just rest and stuff. Let my body heal from the ridiculous running that we had to do, which wasn't actually running. And then he's like, well, I don't want you to walk home alone if you're gonna pass out. And I was like, I'm not gonna pass out. I'm fine. I just need to like sit down and like drink water. So while I was talking to that coach, the other coach, the one who made us do the suicides, came over and was like, yes, I got one. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I got one. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, I'm trying to make one person go home early every night. So, yeah. And he didn't like say it in that tone. He said it a lot meaner, but I don't think I could do justice to how he said it because it just like broke me. And I like was like, okay, I'm gonna go. And I like started to cry. And like, I cry so easily. Oh my gosh, I hate it. But it's like when I packed up my stuff, I like said bye to the one girl and the one officer who was there. I like changed shoes because we have to change shoes, and like just left. So I got like to the building beside where I had practice and realized that I had left my shoes down in the practice room, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna text one of my friends who lives near me to bring me my shoes, and luckily he brought them back for me. I just cried a lot. I went over to my friend Amy's room, and Victoria was there, and we watched Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
And then we watched the end of Miss Congeniality 2. I work a lot better with positive reinforcement. Like, if my coach like comes up to me and is like, oh, that was really good, like keep doing that, or like if he wants me to practice something, he'll like tell me what I'm doing wrong, but be like, I know you can do it correctly. Like, that's how I learn, with positive reinforcement, not you suck, you can't do this, and then you try to make me like angry so I do it better. No, when you tell me that I suck and I can't do it, I believe you. Like, I'll be like, yeah, you're right, I can't do it, so I'm not gonna try. So now I'm just like really worried about my sport that I'm in, and yes, I already had thoughts that I was like, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, blah blah blah, I suck. And now that the one coach like said that he was trying to make people go home and that he succeeded in making me go home early, it just really brings me down, and that just adds to my sophomore slump. I'm doing okay in my classes though, so that's not part of my slump. I asked my friend who's a junior if she was in the sophomore slump last year, and she like laughed at me and she was like, honey, I am still in it. So I was like, so it's not just the sophomore slump, it's the college catastrophe. That's pretty much all that I have to talk about today. I don't actually know when I'm gonna edit this, so it'll be a surprise to everyone when this goes online, because it's like almost 5 p.m. So I will see you on Friday. Goodbye, Matt.